What if humanity's survival hinged on the split-second choice of one lone mercenary drifting above a dying asteroid? Eros is on a collision course, the protomolecule is mutating in the dark, and every faction in the system is already squeezing the trigger. You've heard the stories, now you get to write the next chapter. But that's only the beginning. A universe on the brink. The solar system truly fractures. Eros is infected, Ganymede's domes are rupturing, and paranoia travels faster than any Corvette-class gunship. Earth's UNN admirals deploy fleets they can't quite control, Mars ramps up its weapons tests, and belt stations stockpile air recyclers like gold. Ordinary people pray the stars will pick a side. The vacuum doesn't bother answering. Into this chaos steps Osiris Reborn, Owlcat Games' first third-person action RPG. It drops you onto Eros during the very hours when Miller and Holden race against contagion. But your story unfolds in the alleys they never saw. You'll taste the grit of corridor dust, smell the recycled sweat inside your helmet, and feel the vibration of breaching charges pounding through ferrocrete walls. The sense of place is unmistakable. Rusted belter signage, Martian red armor plates, and Earth's polished insignia that somehow look out of place everywhere in the belt. PCGamer.com. Every crisis here spirals outward. A hydroponics failure on Ganymede triggers a refugee wave on Ceres. A missing cargo pod near Luna sparks a tribunal on Earth. Your decisions can stitch those spirals together or shred them into new catastrophes. But the system isn't waiting for permission. You, the mercenary. You are an operative from Pinkwater Security. Soldiers for hire famous for triple billing every side that can pay. You weren't born under the same flag as the rest of your squad, and that matters. Choose Earther muscle, Martian discipline, or Belter ingenuity. Each background tweaks skill trees, starting gear, and the way station guards eyeball your ID. More importantly, it colors every tense negotiation. A Martian accent might open a locked barracks door on Ganymede, but on Ceres, it earns you a quick pat-down and an even quicker goodbye. Pinkwater's contract sounded simple. Safeguard a classified Osiris shipment. Then the shipment erupted into blue fire, your extraction shuttle exploded, and half your team never checked in. Officially, you're now detached. Unofficially, you're on every police blotter from Tycho to Luna. Your new goal: keep your remaining crew alive long enough to short out the kill switch Osiris welded into your ship's core. Character creation treats identity like ammunition. Want to be a stealth optic belter sniper? Trade reactor shielding for silence coil gun. Prefer a Martian X gunnery sergeant? Burn points on power armor maintenance. But watch out, microburst thrusters make noise, and noise in zero-G travels straight through metal. However you spec, your stats bend conversations, unlock class-specific EVA maneuvers, and even shift the cinematic angle when you double-tap the thruster suit in mid-drift. And just when you think you know yourself, you'll meet the crew.
The most advanced ship in the system.
Your home is the MCRN Kestrel, a stealth-coated, railgun-scarred frigate the size of a low-orbit hotel. Owlcat calls it the most advanced ship in the system, but the galaxy calls it missing in action. How it landed in Pinkwater's hands is a rumor worth killing for, which is exactly what Osiris plans to do if you don't keep moving. The Kestrel isn't a set dressing, it's a breathing character whose bulkheads remember every dialogue choice. Swap out the reactor's ballast tanks for an illegal spin drive and your cargo bay shrinks by 2% permanently. Let your mechanic weld an armored coffin around the CIC and your pilot loses half her sensor arc. The more you upgrade, the more the ship whispers personality. Creaking mag rails when gravity cuts, angry klaxons that sync with your haptic gloves, and a coffee maker that never quite stops rattling because a missile fragment jammed the drip valve at Eros. Then there's the crew. Talise Dunn, Earther hacker turned spy, hates the taste of recycled algae but loves secrets even more. Gearbox Ramen, Belter engineer who claims he once sold spare parts to the Rocinante. Might be true, might be behind compressor fumes. Lieutenant Rika Hahn, Martian Marine labeled KIA during the Ganymede collapse. Officially, she's dead. Unofficially, she just wants her armor back. Each officer has 2 visible skill trees, combat and utility, and 1 hidden relational track that only unlocks after you share the right or wrong bottle of contraband scotch. Ignore them and they'll still help in a firefight. Befriend them and they'll override station missiles, hack UNN dossiers, or stab you in the ribs if your politics insult their honor. But pistols and loyalty are useless without Combat and 3 dimensions gunplay in Osiris Reborn borrows the cinematic punch of Mass Effect but rips out gravity whenever it can. Cover is life, until the deck flips 90 degrees and the wall you're hugging becomes a ceiling. When the mag boots disengage, momentum is your only ally. Pop a smart grenade, kick off a bulkhead, and watch the concussion wave roll enemies across the corridor like loose shell casings. Owlcat's proprietary tri-vector system measures inertia on 3 axes, so you can bounce shot plasma charges around corners or dive tackle a raider into a cargo net, wrenching his EVA tether until his oxygen gauge blinks red. PCGamer.com. Every class power is designed to break stalemates. Earther commandos get Gravwell, a microsingularity that drags hostiles off cover for a precious 2-second window. Belter stalkers deploy chaff swarms that confuse LiDAR, letting them slip behind foes in gloomy docking tunnels. Martian vanguards, my favorite, activate Burn Burst, a thruster dash that rams shields first, then autocools to avoid cooking the pilot inside. Weapons feel tactile because they obey the show's rules. Fire a railgun and your body slams backward unless your boots are clamped. Swap to a flechette shotgun and you'll watch needles fan out in slow arc inside low-pressure cabins, shredding an enemy but also the air scrubbers behind him. Ammo is heavy. Reloading in 0G sends casings floating, an unspoken tutorial on stealth. Levels blur, indoor and vacuum sequences. One moment you're sprinting down Eros's quarantine hall, alarm shrieking. The next you're outside the hull, drifting across a crater as Jupiter looms in the skybox. Asteroid dust sparkles around your helmet lamp. And yes, each spec can gouge the visor if you slam too fast. Still, the deadliest weapon isn't magnetic, it's political. Politics, betrayals, and the protomolecule. The real villain of the game may be Osiris Corp's boardroom. These corporate alchemists believe the protomolecule is a license to rewrite evolution, and they've buried their labs inside belt slums no Earth audit ever visits. They pay Pinkwater to escort salvage canisters, but your first away mission ends with a canister rupturing into luminous blue filaments that crawl across bulkheads. Choose to dump the cargo and Earth will log you for safeguarding humanity, then block your transponder as punishment for wrecking UNN evidence. Deliver the cargo to a secret drop point on Ceres and you'll earn black market upgrades, but label yourself a war criminal in Mars databases.
Faction reputation morphs the main quest. Side with Mars and you'll gain access to prototype Gauss rifles, but face Martian internal affairs if a single civilian casualty pings their sensors. Aid the belt and you'll glide through customs without bribes, though Earth's watchdog drones may track your heat signature the second you dock on Luna. Protomolecule incidents escalate in background cutscenes, news anchors flicker across every cantina screen, and your choices determine which anchor survives the broadcast. The deeper mystery, Osiris isn't acting alone. A fragment of code in their data cores references Project Laconia, a name fans of the novels know foreshadows an empire light years beyond the ring. Mention that to an informant and she'll gasp, "You shouldn't even know that word." And the crowd outside the airlock is already gossiping. Rumors and controversy. When Owlcat, known for crunchy tabletop-style RPGs, announced a cinematic shooter, forums lit up hotter than Eros's reactor core. Some fans cheer the studio's leap toward blockbuster territory. Others worry the shift means diluted choice depth, or worse, microtransaction skins hiding in the code. Owlcat insists there's zero pay-to-win, but the final UI screens remain under NDA, fueling speculation. Reddit.com, PCGamer.com. The press build runs on Unreal Engine 5 at a buttery 60 frames per second, even with volumetric fog dancing in the Tycho docks. Yet to ship that fidelity on last-gen hardware, insiders whisper Owlcat may cut split-path side quests and repackage them as Day 1 DLC. The devs deny it, modders prepare anyway. Release timing? The Steam page says only "coming soon," but a line of code in the backend references a 2026-03-15 preload slot. Fake? Placeholder? Nobody knows. Meanwhile, Amazon MGM, which holds TV rights, hasn't clarified cross-promotion, raising eyebrows about whether the game's canon will survive future show seasons. Controversy aside, early testers praise the low-G combat loop, describing it as the shooter ballet Andromeda couldn't pull off. Others call the companion banter surprisingly filthy in a good way, though every curse word arrives helpfully censored. Sht, DMN, and the ever-versatile fuck. But hype tides rise and fall. The only constant is the next reveal. The campaign wraps before the ring gates open, but Alcat teases DLC arcs that might leap beyond Sol. Leaked concept art shows a ship burning past a massive hexagonal portal, and a dev AMA dropped a single emoji, a ringed planet, before moderators yanked it. If the expansion lands, imagine a battlefield with no up, no down, only alien ruins that tilt reality itself. Short-term, the studio confirmed a Gamescom demo featuring a co-op Ava heist mode where two players infiltrate a derelict science barge while a ticking timer pumps radiation through every chamber.
In the meantime, community challenges stand ready. Speedrunners already trade strats on Discord, jet boosting through Eros quarantine without drawing a single gun, or glitch stepping across Sirius's neon gutters to skip a boss arena entirely. Expect Alcat to patch those holes. Or maybe reward them with an achievement called Gravity? What gravity? Which brings us back to the chair you're sitting in. The vacuum doesn't care who fires first, or who thinks they hold the moral high ground. It only honors mass and motion. So when the Expanse Osiris Reborn finally hits your SSD, remember this. Every thruster burn is a choice, every ricochet a confession, and every life you save, or eject, ripples across a solar system already bleeding blue. Will you lock your boots, aim down the railgun, and drag humanity back from the edge? Or will you cut the tether and watch the stars spin? Drop your take below, slam that subscribe, and let the navigation lights guide you home. Because if the belt ignites, whose side will you burn for?